in. Because right now those aren't optional tiles, they're just disabled. So I don't necessarily know if I want to consider disabled tiles to be optional tiles by default. But on this panel they are, so. And I probably don't need elevated tiles, but I really don't know. Okay, so that's fine. These panels got wrecked somehow. Like these all got zeroed out. So what I was afraid was going to happen is I was going to zero out some of my panels. So why did it zero out those panels? I don't understand that. In particular, those panels, why it zeroed them out. It's very weird, to say the least. Okay, so it just has something to do with my save. For some reason my save is not loading those right. I don't know why that is. I get lots of problems with saves sometimes, and I don't really know what it is. Like, there shouldn't have been any problems, but it was just a save issue. Weird. Anyway, so this puzzle needs these tiles to be optional as well. No, they don't have to be locked or anything, because they're just not there. But these still don't work, because these raise up. So I don't know how I do that. I do not know how I do that. But those puzzles are not really in the game proper anyway, until I can figure out how to make them actually good, because they're still bad. They're just kind of there still. So these guys should work, as far as I know. I guess I should check to make sure that they are solvable. They appear to be solvable. Maybe that one isn't solvable. Oh, there we go. Just was doing it wrong. Okay, that one, I just didn't disable them. They're locked, but I didn't disable them. So I should probably basically consider locked and disabled the same though, for most purposes. Okay, I have too many things open. locked tiles. Set colors. If it's not locked, then we do all this. And if it's not locked, then we toggle it. So we'll do this. If not, if it's locked tiles and it's not a disabled tile. Okay, so that should be fine. Let's see, state changed. Update state changed equals false. Why did I set state change to false at the beginning of update? That seems strange. It seems very strange to set state changed to false at the beginning of update. What happens if I just remove that? Does it actually affect anything in the entire game? Because if it doesn't, then I can use state change for a thing that I want to use it for. I don't think I use it for anything. Okay, so here I'm doing this, right? But I really don't need this. I can just do this, right? That's fine too. The state changed is actually not necessary. And then I should be able to validate in the solution checking here. Because that should be if state changed. Then we do all of our solution criteria, basically. Do all of our solution validating, but we only want to do that if it's if the state changed. Okay, so that should be fine. So if the state's changed, then we check to see whether or not the puzzle's been solved. If it was solved, we do all this. And then here we go, state changed equals false here, basically. That should theoretically do the right thing. Now, it may be the case that it misses something sometimes, but I don't know. But my assumption is that there's a thing that doesn't work, which is interesting. Or I guess it works. Just depends on what the last panel was that you're on. Interesting. So if I basically set my toggle state to null and then click off of a panel and then drag onto it. So if I click here and then click off of this panel and then drag onto it, then it will paint in. But if I toggle that off and then click and drag, then it will toggle it. But if I do it now, it's not going to do anything because it's not toggling. So that's a minor bug, but it's probably a usability thing that should get fixed. So that if I go and try to toggle them, that instead I'll come into the panel and it should toggle the first one that it sees. So how do I do that is the question. It's a pretty basic thing to do. I'm just not exactly sure. Got too many freaking things in my one. Why is Steam downloading stuff? Let me close Steam. I don't need Steam running. Steam making me drop them frames. Oh, seemed like the stream dropped. No, I guess nobody ever told me that the stream dropped. I blame Steam for that. Okay, I actually don't need this backup anymore, as far as I can say. Well, I'll just leave it. We'll just leave it for now. There's no sense in getting hasty. Oh yeah, okay. So this usability thing, I just need to find... I think it's in controller. No, actually, I think it's in player. So that's all in player, I think. I'm gonna go hit tile, get toggle state. It's not equal to first click tile, toggle state. So so how do I do this? I basically want to do like if the player clicks shoot. So first click tile toggle state is not necessarily correct at that point. So normally I do it based on a click here, but we actually need to do if the player clicks on something else, then so if the player clicks on something else besides a panel, then we basically want to set something to where we know that even if it's this, we need to do this, right? So I don't know how I figured that out. I guess I can just add a thing here that's like if controller dot left mouse button. And so then we can do all this, I guess, in here. So we do want to find this at that point, and we do want to do this at that point. So that's fine. We send it a message. So this should get that component, right? Well, it's checking this. So if I don't get this, then we want to go clicked off panel equals true, basically. And this one's going to be like clicked off panel equals false. So that seems right. And then I guess I do. This doesn't seem right, but left mouse button held, because I'm going to duplicate this code doing this, and that's not really what I wanted to do. I guess what I want is this. I just want it like this, rather than the way that I was thinking. So that needs to be like that. And then here needs to be if it was held. Then we do this whole deal. Okay, so that seems fine. So we do check all this. If the player, oops, God, I wish it. I need to get rid of that. Did it again. I need to get rid of that shortcut because I never ever use that, and it screws me up all the time. Okay, so we're checking for the hit test. If the player clicked, then we do our hit test here. Otherwise, we say that we clicked off the panel. If the player did this, then we do our hit test here again. And we do this where we toggle. So first we need to do if clicked off panel, then this happens. And clicked off panel equals false now. And then we want to do or clicked off panel. If we clicked off panel, then we do this. We get that. We moused on it. I guess I actually don't need this is moused on to be in here. That can just be here, basically. If hit test collider, excuse me, sometimes. Okay, that's kind of messier. I don't know what to do about that, but that seems like maybe the best thing. Okay, basically I need this. If hit tested collider, else if controller left mouse button. Okay, yeah, that will work better. So then I can just wrap all this stuff in here, because this has all got to be in hit tested collider, right? Like this. So then all of this stuff can go up inside of here. So then it's like if hit tested collider, and then else if not hit test slider and you still clicked, then clicked off panel equals true. Okay, so if hit test collider, yes, yes. Control the left mouse button, clicked off panel equals false. Else if left mouse button held, we don't want to do that. Then we do this, we get the hit tile. I shouldn't need to get that more than once. So get the hit tile. Top panel equals false because we hit a collider, and we clicked this frame. But if we held it, then we want to check to make sure it's not the same as us, or we clicked off the panel. If we clicked off the panel, then we want to do this. So I'm just going to put that in there, just because logically that makes a little more sense. Okay. That all seems good. Okay, so we need to listen to something. I've been listening to the No Man's Sky soundtrack, which I kind of liked, but it keeps muting part of my stream when I listen to that, so yeah, can't listen to that. What can I listen to, though? What can I listen to? We'll listen to the Bastion soundtrack, why don't we? Let's skip that intro part. Okay. Okay, now I need to store that. Is that too loud? Well, that's not too loud. So we'll store that as bool. Clicked off panel equals false. I guess we don't have to initialize it false, because it's always false by default, according to the rules of C++ or C#. Excuse me. Okay, so that should work now. I should be able to look at player and see clicked off panel. Okay, so that works. Okay, it seems like it works now. It's interesting that it keeps the state between all panels, so I can just hold down and do like that, or hold down and do like this. Ugh, now that's annoying. See, that doesn't count as clicked off panel because it's a disabled tile there. Okay. So why is it hit testing that? Wondering what's up with that. Like, why does it hit test and find something? because as far as this panel is concerned, I guess it still does keep the box collider enabled. Or it's just not disabling these tiles. Seems like it's just not disabling the tile, it's just like disabling the renderer for the tile. Okay, so let me go back and look at disabled. Verify this. It's not disabled, we instantiate one of those. And if it is disabled, yeah, we just disabled the renderers. So I'm gonna try doing this. I forget how this works. Isn't it like game object, set active? So it would be like this: lit squares dot game object dot set active false. So we'll see what that does, because that should work then. It should set them to be inactive. It might give me some errors, but okay. Seems like it's not totally working. I don't know that this is not some craziness of my save system though, because my save system's crazy. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's something with the camera where the longer the game runs, it like is slower to zoom. Okay, so it's not anything to do with the saves. It's not that at all. But it's still not pulling it as that I'm clicking off the panel when I'm clicking here. Where is that? Okay, yeah, because it should say clicked off panel, but instead it's still seeing that. So, let's see why that is. If I look at this, what is in here? Well, that one's off screen, so it doesn't really help. Okay, so I think it's re-enabling them all inside my set active thing. Like here, I think it's doing this. Yeah, setting them active this way. So this should be set children active for each one. Oh man. Okay. So I'm just gonna have to basically for this go for each be like game object O in disabled tiles. O dot set active is false. No, disabled tiles is, hold on. Disabled tiles is just integers. So I have to do an X and Y, so I have to go, alright, we'll just go find somewhere where I iterate over them. Okay, like this. So I can't think of any other way to do that, because I can't get from these guys necessarily, whether or not they should be active. So we'll just do this. So disabled tiles. So if disabled tiles is true, then we want to take the reference that would be lit tiles or lit squares, x plus width times y, game object dot set active false, and we also want to do that for the outline, which is what is it? Outline. Block outline, I realize. Okay. I need to change the names of all these variables because they're really bad, but that should do that, theoretically. It should work. So we might get some horrible null references, I have no idea. No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it just worked. So let's try if I go off the screen and back on the screen, make sure everything gets enabled and disabled properly. Seems like it. Alright, that was just a minor usability thing to fix. So yeah, so now all these are disabled. They kind of don't need to be there, but they're there. They're there, so what the heck. They don't probably affect the performance or anything that much. And now we're only validating panels when you click on them, which theoretically should make everything in the game run much faster. Certainly runs fast here, but kind of would have run fast here anyway because there's not that many tiles. But yeah, so now theoretically, like, the game should run faster in general. Not that the game necessarily needs to run insanely fast or anything, but you know, considering it's just a prototype, I'd rather not already be killing the performance for no good reason. So I need to look at how fast these guys run now, because this has always been like the worst spot, because there's just the most tiles on screen at one time. It still runs reasonably well, but let's bring up the profiler and see what is actually going on. Okay, so we got a crazy, like, frame time inconsistency. I don't know exactly why that is. Looks like the render time is just radically different. Clean up unused cache data. We're not calling any different amount of things there. I forget what puzzle panel tile late update even does. I think it only does one call. And that's like, if you want to see the Unity inefficiency, like that's 0.21 milliseconds to call a function that literally sets a variable. I don't know what it's doing, but it's like only 416 times, and so it should really only be like setting 416 variables, but it takes like that long to do it. So I can find that. I really wish it would just, from here, it would open the editor, but it doesn't. That doesn't seem to be a thing that anybody that designed this ever thought I might want to do, is jump to that function in the code. So instead I gotta go look it up. Yeah, because that's all this does, is it sets a variable. It sets a bool to false. Why that takes so long, I don't know. I could possibly even get away with just setting it at the end of update. But I think I did it in late. update just because it's kind of like in here where I just set state change to false. Like, I could do that in late update. I should probably figure out some better way to do that. Anyway, I am going to take a super quick break. Alright. So let's see. So those are done. So I didn't really fix that to where there's lock tiles that don't raise up. Here I am profiling things. It's probably unnecessary. It's like render uses a lot of time. Behavior update. Looks like sprite color blender. Sprite color blender is definitely still slow. Editor snap. I am still so surprised that editor snap runs so slowly. Especially when, as far as I know, editor snap doesn't actually do anything when I'm like running the game. Where is that? Yeah. Like, it literally doesn't do anything. Okay, let me try this. Maybe it's not short-circuiting or something. I have no idea. because it shouldn't do anything when the game is not, or when the game's playing. Like editor snap should not be spending 1 millisecond on anything. Where's the profile here? Let's take a behavior update. Okay, that didn't make a difference. So it's literally just the overhead of having 1600 procedural calls that is taking 1 millisecond to do that. So I don't really know. I'm not really sure what I should do on those guys. Because I basically just... Those objects are just static objects that don't matter, that shouldn't move, or update, or do anything. Anybody know enough about Unity to be able to tell me how I'm supposed to, if I want to have like an object that is literally just there to be its image and its bounding box, and not, it doesn't need to have an update function, how I can make that only happen in the editor, like when the game's not running. I guess I could do it on validate. I don't know whether that'll work, but I could potentially do it on validate. Isn't it on validate? It's a mono behavior, not a game object. Mono behavior. For some reason, mono behavior does not turn up anything when I search it, even though it's totally a thing. I don't know why mono behavior doesn't come up. Oh, because they have a U in it, because they're spelling it in their weird English way. Okay, so... So I should theoretically be able to do it. So I'm going to see if onValidate works for this, because it may be the better thing to do anyway. The thing that I need to check whether onValidate works is whether or not it works for these, because it doesn't. See, that's the problem, is it doesn't. Because that should be snapping. Should be snapping, but it's not snapping. That's why I have that, is so that it will snap. But for some reason it's not doing it. So let me just try this. And see if that works. Still not snapping. Okay. Excuse me. This is called when the script is loaded or a value is changed to the inspector. So I assume it means one of these values is changed to the inspector. Yeah. So that's why that doesn't work. What is going on? Why is this not, like, resetting back there? I don't even know what is going on. For some reason it is not wanting to, like, do that. So like, essentially, what I want is to have this only do something if it's in edit mode. Only do something in edit mode, Unity. So there's like execute in edit mode, but I don't want that. I want like I guess I could just destroy it. I could destroy the component. And when it runs. So yeah, I should just be able to go destroy. I should just be able to do that. So I can do this, I guess. Really just want, I don't even want it to have an update unless it's the editor. 'Cause I'm only optimizing editor performance by doing this. But that should theoretically work. No overload for method just takes 0 arguments. Okay, so I need to go destroy this. Because I do want that to snap. What is going on? Why is it not letting me pick the handles? Okay. Great job, Unity. So that's literally just an editor optimization. It doesn't affect anything in the game, really, but whatever. I'm looking at things in the hierarchy, so I don't want to see something that's just literally a non-game thing doing something. Puzzle panel update, spends a lot of time there. The fact that there's so much time spent in this sprite color blender. So I need to deep profile it. Because that's smooth damp getting called. But I don't know why. I don't know why smooth damp's getting called, because it shouldn't be getting called 1680 times, because the colors shouldn't be getting changed. But maybe they are getting changed. Think about it. Because I may have done something stupid, where I'm actually changing the color multiple times on a frame. Yeah, that's probably happening. One day that wall is gonna fall. So I can think of a way to make that easier to deal with, but it would require introducing probably potentially a frame of latency on the update on those things. On the other hand, there are already like being interpolated, so it probably doesn't matter what the delay on that is. So that would be on, not there, but on the color blender. Where is that? Sprite color blender. Because basically I'm doing this, when you set color, I'm saying that if the color's different than the current color, then we say color's changed. That doesn't necessarily work, because if I set the color and then I set it immediately after on the same frame to be the same color, then it hasn't changed. So we kind of want to do something like basically we want to see if it's like not the same color that it was last frame. So if it's like yeah, that's basically what we would want to do. And then we do all of our smooth damp here. So rather than doing this, we go color changed since last frame. And to find out if the color's changed since last frame, we got to store the color from the last frame, which would be basically color last frame is equal to how do I do that instead of just storing color? Let's just do that. So that would be color, and then so if so we do if color. Problem is I can't do a direct compare. I need to do like public void fast color compare color C1 color C2, and then do this basically. Because If that's... just do this. Like, colors are equal. I guess I'm supposed to do like this. I don't know. So then we'll go colors are equal. Color last frame. Color. False. Actually what that is. Okay, so that theoretically should work. Didn't I do something else here? This is like... So it's like if color just changed, right? It doesn't matter. We'll just check this and see whether that works. Because that theoretically should be faster. I feel like it isn't, though, which is strange. Oh, there's compile error. Yeah. Yeah. Name C does not exist in all this. Yes. C1, C1, C1. And C2. What is this? It's not, oh, as I said, void. It needs to return a bool. And color last frame doesn't exist, so that's gonna be color last frame. So that potentially puts like a 1 frame delay on the color change, but okay, so now color changing is not working at all. So that's great. On the plus side, the game probably runs faster. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what it's doing. Well, it's definitely spending a lot less time in that. So that's good. It's literally spending all of its time on checking to see whether the colors are different. So, why? Oh, I bet it's because it's doing like this. I bet it's just referencing it. I bet that's what it's doing. But I don't know, we'll see. Nope, it's still not doing anything. So we're just gonna abandon this for now. Okay, I'll go with you in a minute. Hold on. I mean, I was gonna end the stream in a minute anyway, so. Make sure that this is not broken. Okay, so that's working now. Alright, so I think we're pretty much done for the evening of this streaming for like, I don't know, somebody know. Oh, I don't know, it dropped the stream at some point, so it doesn't tell me the total amount of time it's streaming. People never complain when the stream drops. Why is that? I don't know. They never let me know when the stream died. I guess because it went back up or something. Or maybe they left. Who knows? I have no idea. Anyway, so if you're still out there and hanging out, because I don't know if anybody's out there. I ask people whether the music's too loud. They say nothing. It's like nobody's here.
Is there anybody out there?
I don't know.
Hello.
I don't know. Let me see if there's anybody out there. Because I can go do that. I can look in like the dashboard and see how many people are watching. It just doesn't say right there. But it's like, you know, when you ask somebody, is music too loud? And like nobody says anything. 4 people are watching. So you 4 people should be ashamed of yourself. Not for watching, but for not telling me when the stream drops or things like that. Because I like to know those kinds of things. And OBS doesn't tell me anything if it manages to reconnect it or whatever. So, anyway. But thanks for hanging out, despite the stream dropping and despite the fact that I'm sick and despite the fact that this probably wasn't very interesting.
You want a flyer?
That's cool. It's cool. I mean, I made it, so that better be cool. So anyway, thanks for coming out and joining me. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. We got some good work done. I don't know how long I was streaming for because OBS didn't keep track of that. But I'll probably be back. I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow, but soon to stream some more. And I hope you have a good time wherever you are in the world. I will see you around.